Okay, awesome. Super, super good stuff. Let's see, why is this not going live? Oh, I don't have permission. Okay.
Do I need to time anything now?
No.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if this will allow me to go in. Here we go. Okay, great. All right, so we are streaming, we are recording, and folks, we'll just let this go a little bit. There we go. Okay, perfect. So folks, we are here with Ray Fox. He's the VP PR for it's Portland Toastmasters or
Club 31.
Club 31. Okay, so this is really an interview style, but I really want Ray to do most of the talking so that we get as much as we can as VP PRs. I'm the PR manager for District 7, and it is my pleasure to have Ray Fox on today. We're not going to go into your background, but I want you to give us those nuggets because you do have both of those types of clubs. You have a community club, and then you have the prison club. And I think that this is an important piece because it's what we do. It's what we do is we're helping people communicate. So share with us how your club has basically skyrocketed and how you get new people. I would love to keep it to like, okay, what are 3 specific actions that your fellow members and VPPRs can actually take potentially today? What should they be doing? But I'd like to stick it to 3. I want to specifically get 3 action steps, something that's actionable, that's tangible, that we can actually achieve. Okay, over to you.
First and foremost, I think the biggest part of my success is this little business card right here that my club gets for me. It has my personal phone number on it. It's got my personal email. It's got the club email for me as VPPR. And everybody I talk to, I give a Toastmaster card to. Even if I'm not talking about Toastmasters. And it kicks up an interest. And if they ask me any questions, I live and breathe Toastmasters. I love what Toastmasters done for me. And you got to really feel Toastmasters in your heart. You got to feel it the way I do. I'm nobody special. I don't do any special things. I hand them business cards and I talk Toastmasters everywhere I go. I was in a college class, taking a public speaking class, which, believe it or not, I failed because of the computer stuff. I aced all the in-classroom stuff because I can do that in person.
So that's one. That's the business card. What and that do you think that is really your secret sauce? So if you did nothing else but that, then that.
I feel it in my heart. That's all I do. I talk Toastmasters everywhere. In fact, I was out last night at the bowling alley over here, and I was handing out cards, and my buddy upstairs is a Marine. He tells me, man, quit giving out business cards. People don't do that no more. And I said, well, I do.
Yeah, it's actually a smart thing to do because all the contact information. So I'm going to look into that for my club as well. In terms of like, it's one thing to give out the business card. Do you invite them specifically in that moment, or you're just like, hey, if you want to know more, or what do you say?
I always invite people to my club. I invited my whole class, my public speaking class, to my Toastmasters club. And one of the guys, I call him TED Talk, showed up, did an icebreaker for us. and he learned a lot. I have been stubborn with my Toastmasters career. Jason Kent told me that I hit a ceiling a long time ago, and I was stuck. And I wasn't getting any better because I wouldn't practice. I don't write speeches. I don't practice speeches. I do every presentation like a table topic. I shoot from the hip. And not everybody can do that. I get that. But that's what works for me. I speak from my heart every time I'm doing a presentation. I read the crowd, I feel the energy, I feel what I need to talk about, and then I speak.
And that's public speaking. I mean, that is communication, and there's a style for that. That to me is something that is more relevant now, where we need more communication like that. But the cool thing about Toastmasters is there is an opportunity to have your canned presentation and to practice those presentations with slides. And, there's 11 plus pathways that specifically help you work on whether it's engaging humor, right? Or whatever it is. So that's really cool that you can do anything. And it's whatever the person's challenge is, there's going to be something that helps them. And that's just a matter of let's communicate to them and let them know that that's the case. So let's go back then to, I love it. It's about being passionate, no question. I think we've lost some of that because we're in front of a screen. It's easy to lose passion.
Not my club, we're back in person.
Oh, you are?
We do in person and hybrid at the same time.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, that's great to know. Just tell everybody when and where that is.
Well, according to the computer, the Portland Toastmasters website, we meet at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, but that don't work for me. I get there, we meet at PCC Cascade, where I go to school, and Terrell Hall, room 112. And I'm there between 5 and 5:30. And I encourage people to get there as early as possible. So if we have any positions that we need filled, if you're brand new, like 2 Mondays ago, we have more guests than members. We had 11 guests and 6 members. And then the following Monday, it was my MLK Day. College is closed. I don't like skipping meetings. So I arranged with a place that I like to hang out called Nepo 42. It's a sports bar, to have the whole back end of the bar reserved just for me and my club. And I was going to run a table topics meeting there, but most of the guests that were coming were all the brand new people, and they're like, can we just do questions and answers? So we spent 2 hours of a Toastmaster meeting sitting there doing questions and answers about Toastmasters, and everybody loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's almost like doing table topics with Q&A. That probably, well, no, if I think about it, that's actually like a level 4 project.
Yeah, they want to do that
Q&A.
every quarter.
That's great. That's a great idea. That's a great way to do like an open house.
I like to every meeting, because the meetings are formal. You don't get a lot of time to socialize and get to know each other. So what I do is I invite people out for a drink after my meetings. If you want to get a bite to eat, a drink, or whatever, it can be a soda, it don't matter. But it's forming a community within our club.
Yeah, I think that's really key. And I know we've lost it. I haven't seen my club in person for 2 years, right?
Oh my God, you need to come to our meeting Monday night.
Yeah, it's, I really feel, and I'm curious, anyone watching live or watching the replay, how you feel, because there's still some hesitation. There's a few club members in my club that really like, no, I don't. And it's gotten so easy. And I hate to say it, I'm almost complacent because I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is go upstairs, push play, and I can book meetings before and after. So, but it's lost that gift that my Toastmasters meeting, when I remember every Saturday morning, nothing could take the place of my Saturday morning meeting with my club over at Dick Moser's.
I
And
know that guy.
oh my gosh, he was my mentor. He was my first mentor, Dick Moser. I miss
was
him
awesome.
and appreciate him beyond anything. So this is really interesting. Q&A quarterly. I love that idea. I think clubs should think about that, of creating a Q&A, a quarterly Q&A. And our club does kind of an open house style round robin, so that the folks that are coming as guests can practice, like we're doing an interviews skills open house. And then we do a round robin evaluation so that each table topic gets an evaluation, like a 30-second evaluation. We have found that to be really helpful. But the key thing that you keep saying is connection. Communication is connection. The thing is, we've lost the connection piece to communication with these green dots, with these screens, right?
Yes.
And you're telling us we need to reconnect. I think there's a part of it both. So how many members do you actually have in that club?
Well, by the time we get back to our meeting and vote in all the new people that I'm signing up, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that part of the club.
Oh, that's okay. Right.
I go in there and talk to people and just encourage people. See,
This is what PR is. This is what
I'd like
public
to tell
relations
people
is.
it's my job to kick you in your ass when you come into my club and get you to give your icebreaker. Because the sooner you get up front and start talking, the quicker you're going to start learning all the stuff that we have in Toastmasters to learn. Sitting there thinking about it. In fact, that Monday when we had 11 guests, every one of them did table topics. Every one. Because I pretty much insist on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have to read the person, because some people you don't want to push that way.
Right.
You scare them away. You got to be a good judge of the characters of the people.
So you've been a VPPR longer than just 1 year, correct?
Yeah, I've been there for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years.
So this is what I want to share with all VPPRs, and why I continued on as the PR manager for District 7. The first year, you're just getting your feet, you're just kind of gauging like what's going on. I don't, you're trying to learn. By the time 3rd, 4th year as the VPPR, you've got some skills and you understand this. And now this is a little bit more, it's more comfortable. You feel like you can communicate with people. So that's why I think we should all look at taking on, if it's possible, growing in that role as the VPPR, unless there's someone else who's like, no, I love PR, I want to do it. Then maybe you could collaborate and do it together, because there's, once you start understanding, at first you're learning what the VPPR is, but then when you start realizing it, and it usually takes like 6 months, maybe even 8 months to realize, holy smoke, this is so much fun. I get to talk to people. You're the one that's starting early. I think that's really important, is to be there beforehand, to talk to people, make them feel comfortable, or give them a sense that, hey, this isn't just a fly-by-night thing. We're here. We care about you. We're excited that you're here. We believe in this, that type of thing. That's public relations. That is being, and we all should be stewards of that brand, which is communicating about Toastmasters in this way, what we do, how it is this excellence and results and service and integrity. We're there supporting, and that's, you exude that, you embody that, those 4.
One of the guests that we had that day when we had 11 guests, you know how she got interested in Toastmasters? I met her at Max Stop. And we just started talking. She said, man, you communicate really well. She says, I'd like to talk to you some more. So I pulled out a card and I gave it to her. And she's part of our club.
All right. So number 1, we all VPPRs and clubs. I think if you have business cards, Toastmasters clubs that have been in someone's garage or whoever's handling the supplies. Let's get those out. Let's start getting the cards out. And we could even team up for Toastmasters folks that are in certain areas and go and canvass the area. Go to, I could see where we could actually go to churches, organizations, schools. I know we don't high school, colleges for sure, but even high schools. Let's get some
Everywhere.
clubs going. Let's get some of
Everywhere.
these. What's that?
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. And if you're nervous about it, maybe we should connect up with Ray a couple of times so that we can let's just check this out. I'm over in Vancouver, so we just have to get over ourselves and not be afraid to go do this and make it fun again. Make it fun again. That it's not just, oh, it's a chore, I have to go get on the Zoom. It's like, no, let's make it fun again. I think that's what I'm hearing from folks is like, they're burned out. They're burned out from the Zoom, it's whatever it's called, Zoom burnout. And like, oh yeah, I get it. We miss people. We miss the connection. We miss baked cookies and baked, and having all of those fun things. And that is really our job as the VPPRs, as bringing PR, the public relations, is making the good works of Toastmasters well known. We don't hear these stories anymore because it's always on a green dot. I don't hear these life-changing stories. You know what I mean? And if there is one out there where you showed up and you're in this meeting on a Zoom meeting and it changed your life, I want to hear it. But
I got burnt out bad. I was losing interest in Toastmasters so much.
Yeah.
And I started school. They happened to set up a deal, Eric did, with the PCC Cascade, where we could meet there. And I took off running. I'm like, yeah, we got in-person meetings. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get back in person. That's the way you get better. That's where you feel the energy. Sitting behind a computer screen is not good. I know Jim's good at it. Evil Ellen's good at it. Rose is getting good at it. But you have to have the community of the in-person meetings in order to feel and breathe Toastmasters.
I'm with you 100%. And I'm recommitting for myself to go find clubs that I don't know if I'll drive over to Portland, but I will definitely. Well,
try it once.
It's on Monday nights, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just juggling, right? Single mom, kids, and then full-time.
Bring the kids with you. We have people bringing their kids all the time.
Interesting. Okay.
Kids have been participating in our meetings.
See,
it's become a family thing.
I love this. Folks, I hope you get how let's move through these barriers of this hesitations, because I do want to be a better speaker in person as well and connect with people. And I know, in fact, I had a speaking engagement on Wednesday night for a group of women at a women's business meeting. And I didn't really know what to do. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't know what to do with my body. I was uncomfortable. I got up and down and said, like, wait a minute, that's not good. So I need to get back in person for sure and do that. So this is inspiring. Who's with me? Who's with me? I want to see it. Comment and let us know. Let's make this happen.
I look at it like this. Anybody can sit and talk to a computer. And that's not going to change your fear of public speaking. Because when you got to stand up in person, it's a whole different feeling. So I tell all my guests, try to come in person as much as possible, because that's the only way you're going to get the full effect of a meeting.
Yeah, I think that's key. And 100% agree, that's key. We can't be afraid to be around each other. Can't be afraid to connect and communicate in person.
Yeah.
Be responsible for your health, please. And don't, if you're sick, stay home, but we need to.
Masks are optional. Wear a mask if you want.
Well, we know we've already seen the masks. Actually, the science doesn't work on that. So if you're sick, stay home. That's important. And we just need to communicate. So let's see. The other question that I had for you, you said you had 11 guests come. So that means, can you pinpoint where those 11 guests actually found you? Is it from the business cards? Can you directly tie those 11 people to something?
Most of it was business cards, verbal communication with people. I ran out of cards. And so I've been on my club to order me some new ones. And I didn't have no cards with me. But everywhere I go, I still talk Toastmasters. Even if you don't have a business card, feel Toastmasters in your heart. Feel what it's done to you and how it's changed your life. So everywhere I go, I talk Toastmasters.
But
My
talking Toastmasters doesn't necessarily lead to a person showing up. And I really want to I want to bridge this so that we get exactly the correlation. 11 guests showing up. What? And was that a fluke? So do you normally have 11 guests? Do you normally have lots of guests?
We usually have an average of 3, 4, 5 guests a meeting.
Okay, that's tremendous. So that. I mean, 11's out of this world. 3 and not being a specialized club. Like I can see that for a notary where there's a bunch of notaries that all come and it's online, but 11 in-person guests is.
Oh, I didn't even tell you how many guests we had at the Monday night meeting at the sports bar. There was all 11 of them showed up, plus 4 more. So we had 15 brand new people just wanting to talk Toastmasters.
Which is,
you got to make yourself
okay.
available. I make myself available all the time to do. We can meet in person. We can do a Zoom. If you want to know Toastmasters, you don't want to go to a meeting yet, I'll make myself available. So I don't want to terrify
anybody. I don't want to terrify anybody to think that they have to make themselves available, because I do. We're volunteers, right? So we also have full-time job, everything else going on. So it's not necessarily like we can't do exactly what you're doing. We can definitely do the business cards.
I don't have nothing to do with my time.
Okay. So you're not working.
I go to school 3 days a week. I'm on disability. Okay. That's it.
So then what we need to do is we need to collaborate a little bit more with folks that are retired or folks that don't have, we need to use some tools. For sure, for VPPRs, when we're super busy and we don't, using social media and using that helps get the word out. We've got the LinkedIn. The LinkedIn campaign is going on right now, and we're getting really good feedback from that. So if you have a club that is oriented towards business, busy professionals, that kind of thing, I would get on LinkedIn, make sure your club has a LinkedIn presence. And then if anybody's following up, because they're going to go to find a club and find the local, whatever is nearest for them, make sure you follow up with your folks, those people that are reaching out to find out about Toastmasters. So I want to ask you about follow-up, because you're giving out cards, you're not getting their information. So you're not actually even able to follow up with them. Or tell me about that. Can you fill us in there?
Well, most of the time they reach out to me because you perk the interest a little bit. Oh, transforming my life, better communicator, better leadership skills. That might be something I want to talk to somebody about. You have to perk their interest. When you give them the card, say here, and dial in their interest. Just don't hand them a card. Okay, here's your card, bye. That don't work. You got to talk to them. They'll reach out. They might not reach out to my club, but they're going to reach out to somebody's club. I've had people in my club that's tried other clubs and they're stuck in my club because they like the vibe that my club projects. We're just laid back. We're not business people. We're not nothing. We're just a group that just happens to be Club 31. And I don't know. I don't know how to put it just comes natural.
Yeah, I think a big piece of this is that you're making it, you're letting it be easy. Whereas I'm almost overthinking it, of making it hard, of, oh, we got to follow up and we got to do this and we got to do this and we got to do this. And no, you just communicate. You just share.
Every time I get an email of somebody interested in my club, it might just pop up and I'm on the phone with them. They're like, man, that was quick.
You call them, you don't email. Yeah.
I prefer communication. I follow the phone call up with an email and CC it to my president.
Okay. I think if we don't get, if right there, this is key, say it one more time.
What?
You do what first and then what next?
You lost me.
You said you call them first. You pick up the phone and call them first.
Yeah.
I'm going to admit, I don't do that. Even when I was a VP, I do not call them first. I don't want, I'm just going to send them an email and let's see. No, pick up the phone and call them.
Right.
People want to be called. I would love, that reminds me, Lori Anderson picked up the phone and called me. And I think her email probably got lost in there, but she picked up the phone and called me. And that's why I came back to Toastmasters, because I'd been looking for like 6 months and no one was responding back, but she called me. So this is so key for all of us to remind ourselves, we're probably making this complicated, more complicated than it needs to be. We need to get back to having fun.
Don't overthink it. Relax, breathe, and speak. That's what I tell people to get them started. Relax, breathe, and say what you got to say. Too many people overthink this. It's just simple. Just be yourself. Be what Toastmasters created you to be. That's what I'm doing. And it just takes a little bit of money from your club for a business card. I don't care if I'm checking out in a grocery store. I'll mention Toastmasters. Oh, you're in? Oh, here. In a restaurant. I gave a bartender my card the other day because I perked her interest up on Toastmasters. You know, everywhere I go, I just talk Toastmasters.
I hope that everyone is getting this. I'm so inspired. I mean, I don't know if this is going to get me to go out and hand out cards to everywhere, but I will tell you, I'm a business owner and I don't do this. I don't go out and hand out my cards, but you know what? I'd probably be a lot more successful if I did. And if we need, as VPPRs, if you want to get together and we just go do this and inspire each other, because how inspired, how excited are you? Like right now, if I had business cards, I'd probably go to the grocery store. I'm like, oh yeah, all of my checkout girls at the grocery store, I've seen, they're in my neighborhood. I would probably give them, hey, come to my Toastmasters meeting if it were in person. I wouldn't. How funny! I would not actually hand a business card for an online meeting. Okay, this
I invite
something.
them in person. You have to have an in-person meeting.
We have to. We have to get back to this.
Have a hybrid like we do.
Yeah.
People got a choice. I encourage people to come in person because there's so much more you can get out of Toastmasters.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm yelling.
And I think we're all starving for it, for that connection and meeting again. And this has really been inspiring. And we've got some key takeaways. All the clubs, let's get you business cards and then let's go use them. And think about, if you're the VPPR, think about doing more than 1 year. Do 2 years, 3 years. On the third year, maybe someone, you can apprentice someone, right? Could you imagine apprenticing with Ray? And then the next person who comes in helps, right? So they understand and get your enthusiasm and understand that this is not rocket science, guys. You do not have to stress over this. Just communicate and share and invite.
It's simple. You just, man, I can't say it enough. I cannot say it enough. Relax, breathe, and just do it.
Yeah.
There's so much more out of in-person meetings. The world ain't gonna go away. Come on back out. Some people can't, like Jim and Rose and Ellen, they live in Ridgefield. That's a long drive to Portland. but they used to do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, since I'm the PR manager for another 6 months, I'm going to create some kind of PR caper, something that we can do that helps us get out there. Like maybe going to the farmers markets, having some booths there that VP PRs can come in, or any club member or officer who wants to come to maybe a farmers market or places that have events that are going on, that it's comfortable to be there, and you can so we practice. We need practice. I'm out of practice.
Let's set up a regular meeting where all the PR people can meet up somewhere.
Yeah.
Practice once a month or once quarterly or something.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
make myself available.
I think this will
I
be
will
fun.
make myself available to anybody that wants to call or text or email and want to get together to just feel what I feel. I'm there anytime. I got 3 days a week that I got college classes. Other than that, I ain't got nothing going on.
Okay, this has been really helpful, Ray. This has been really helpful. Anything else you want to say to share? I know that you've kept it simple, and that's really important, but is there any other thing that you can think of that would help VPPRs?
Don't spend a lot of time overthinking what you're doing. Just try and feel it in your heart. Just do it. Don't overthink it. PR is very simple. I love it. But you just got to relax, breathe, do it.
Yeah, it's different than what I've been training with them on, because I've been telling them, let's get your website up, let's get, make your designs and social media and all the other stuff that you have to do a lot of work for little results.
I got a website. I don't even know how to get to it, but it's got some I did a model speaker thing for somebody 6 months after I got out of prison. That model speaker thing's on there. I did a radio show with KBOO shortly after I got out, and that's interviews on there. But I don't know how to get to my website. I don't know technology.
Unless your club is hybrid, so it is important to have a balance between that online presence and the in-person presence. And I think we need to come back to a good balance between it. We just don't have that right now. And I think there's a lot of guesswork, like, oh, I don't know what to do. But if we can balance those out and make it fun, then I think we've got something. So
I'll say this. I had Margot tell me this herself. She came to a meeting or two in person, then she started doing the online with us. And she came back last Monday night, and you know what she said? I got to start coming in person. I get so much more out of the meeting when I come in person. It's the community, it's the fellowship, it's the energy that's coming off the crowd. In-person meetings, at least part of your club, hybrid it like we do, and get Toastmasters back into your heart. Fall in love with Toastmasters and the communication again. That's what I do.
That's perfect. That's a great point to complete. Thank you so much for sharing, Ray. I really appreciate it. Make sure that we share your information so that folks can reach out to you, and we will. Can you go ahead and share that right now?
Put it on or you want me to verbalize it?
Yes, because this is going to be in the recording and people won't see the chat. So you can share the time, the location, what club, but if there's a website that they can go to right now to register, if they're going to do it hybrid, and you did mention that it's at PCC. So go ahead and share that. And you didn't mention too much about the prison club. Just give us a nugget about that really quickly in terms of the prison club. Clearly that's for the prisoners at the prison, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to have background checks. You got to get security clearances, all that. I haven't been in for a while because of some stuff that happened, and I'm still the club coach because Jim helps me with that. But the club, Rose City Toasters, was almost extinct. They was ready to shut it down. And I went in as their club coach. And when the guys heard that I spent all my life in prison, and now I'm back in there trying to bring a message into them, it perked a lot of interest. And Jim keeps telling me all the wonderful speakers they got coming out of there now. And the Rose City Toasters, you can be a volunteer to go in there. If you want to be a carded volunteer, you got to go through a lot of training to get in there, because some prisoners will try and take advantage of it. And you got to be aware of that. But the Rose City Toasters has got several volunteers going in, and Jim keeps it alive. And I don't know why he can drive down to Portland for a Rose City Toasters meeting, but he can't come to in-person meeting with Portland Toastmasters Club 30.
That sounds like a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening, I think that sounds like a challenge.
But we meet every Monday night. I would ask that you show up between 5:30 and 5:45, so you got a little bit of time to find out what's going on. We're at PCC Cascade, Terrell Hall. My phone number is on the Portland Toastmaster Club website. Call me 503-421-0269. Email me either at the Portland Club PR guy, or you can just say Ray Allen Fox at Gmail. That's RAYALLEN at gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ray. I appreciate you. Reach out to Ray if you want more information. And if you're not part of our PR masterclass private Facebook group, let me know. Make you find me on Facebook if you're on Facebook and want to do that. We do trainings regularly inside the group, and we do workshops that we're working together. It is virtual, but we're working together on getting our meetup. So if you don't have a meetup page, we'll get that handled. If getting your Google page, getting your website. So we actually are working during that class. It's not a class. It's like a workshop that we help each other, and you get your questions answered and can multitask at the same time. It's not really multitasking, I should say. The whole purpose of when we meet is so that you can actually take action during that hour that we're working together. So join us there, and I will see you next time. Thanks again, Ray.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Toastmasters. Yes, I jokingly blame you, but thank you so much for giving me the voice to be out here in the free world with y'all, because I really appreciate it.
It's beautiful. It's an amazing story, Ray. Okay, have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Thanks, Ray.